where were you before working together at ECU? And what I mean by that was, had you been trying this on your own for a while, or had you been thinking about it for a year, or were you kind of new to the job search?
I was approached by your team a week before I was laid off by my previous company. I thought it was interesting to explore, what the program would offer. But at that time, I was like, yeah, maybe later on I'll engage, when this job becomes, too much for me. But then a week later, I was dismissed because of a reduction in force. So I was like, okay, this is the time, Thank God that you guys came in at the right time. So yeah, that was my engagement.
That's normally my next question. At what point did you say I need help? But it was kind of like you were approaching just a week later after somehow you saw an ad or something, you got that reduction in force. Why didn't you decide to maybe just try it on your own for a while? What prompted you to get help on the front end besides just try it on your own?
It was actually because of the conversation I had with your team. Like the program, I thought it would be a great fit for me because I really wanted to have an upgrade and I wanted to understand, what the process was like to network and to get the job in a different way than I was used to. When your team shared the approach with me, I was like, I thought I would try this. It will make my search quicker, easier, and more targeted instead of me just going on my own again, and just with the mindset, because I was feeling defeated after, again, another, I was like, oh, I'm going to have to find a job again, and then just feeling that I didn't have the tools. So having that meeting a week before, I was like, yes, I'm going to do it.
That's the number one reason, directors, VPs, come to us, because it's like, they always say, I keep applying to jobs online and no one's calling me back.
I was looking for a job a year ago. Definitely the search was easier with ECU than a year ago. It was much harder, much more disappointing. So definitely I didn't want to leave that experience again. So that's why I decided to go with ECU.
It's definitely too, you brought up you were part of a reduction in force. No one is happy about that ever, right? So it's kind of like, it's really tough if you're ever a part of those reduction forces because you're let go, you don't feel good, and now you have to typically hurry and find something else, so those definitely very stressful. And you brought up a couple things about our program, like the mindset, the automation, different things. But my question to you is, what did you find like most valuable about working together? Because everyone says different things. Some people say, it was the mindset that really helped me, or the automated systems, or the community, or the coaches. What do you think it was for you?
The experience as a whole helped me a lot. The mindset, because, it was really interesting. Like I allowed myself to follow through the program by the book and just writing those daily affirmations in my notebook and going to the sessions, hearing that there were other people like me that were going through the same process, connecting with everybody, giving myself a chance to experience what it was to just network, and reach out to my network and post on LinkedIn, be more out there. And then the fantastic job of, rewriting my resume and, having a new LinkedIn profile. That was just amazing too. So I would say overall for me was everything, because the whole experience changed me. I feel braver, I feel more confident, and I have a different mindset, a different way of looking at myself, for sure.
We're so happy for you. And now you get to go work at, a Fortune 100 company. You got a new role, you're relocating, and it didn't take very long. It took, 30, 40 days or something. And then you got
it was really quick.
Because after you were doing a couple things, somebody found you. So that's the best way, right? Because sometimes when you're doing activities, you're like, regardless of what it is, you're like, is this really worth it? Is this, is this really going to lead to? And then in your case, it did. So the last question we have for you, if we had someone sitting next to me right now and they were considering, they're in a job search, they need help, and they're considering our program, what's some advice you would have for them?
I would say, just follow everything, engage in all the activities, join all the calls, and don't take a long time setting up the automation. Just go for it. Just go, send your resume, review it, engage every day in the program, and just follow it through. Just give yourself the opportunity to live that experience because it's going to change you for the best. That's what I would say.